Hey guys, today we're going to be unboxing and taking a close-up view of this 4 megapixel mini speed dome security camera with 18 times optical zoom. So let me start off by saying I'm super excited to be presenting this camera today. A camera with these features has always been outside of my price range. They are now available on Amazon for just over $200 American. I used to pay close to that for my first 2 megapixel security cameras. If you're interested in more information on the products I'm presenting today, they are available in my blog, which is in the description below. So PTZ stands for pan, tilt and zoom, meaning through the remote interface you can tilt the camera up and down, pan back and forth, or zoom in and out. It also supports two-way communication, and it supports H.265, which is a compressed video format for faster data transfers. It also supports ONVIF 2.6, which is compatibility across multiple devices that also support ONVIF, so you can use this camera on different brands of NVRs. So let's pop the box open and see what's inside. So right here on the top we have a user manual. It's not a quick start guide. The camera is complicated and has a lot of features, and this manual talks about the different ways that you can mount it, such as on a pole or on a corner. Also talks about logging into the web user interface and all the other features that this camera offers. There's a CD here that contains the user manual in case you want a soft copy or if you want to search the documentation. It also has software for remote access for Android. I haven't tried that out yet, but I did try out the IP and firmware management software, and it's great for updating the IP address and ports. So I'll show you that in a little bit. It also has software on here called CMS, and that's for recording the footage, and again, I haven't yet tried that out. Nice piece of foam here to protect the camera. And here we have a 3 amp 12 volt adapter. This camera requires a lot of power, and a standard PoE switch cannot power the large motor that's inside, so it needs a bit of help with this power adapter. I'd also recommend picking up an extension cord in case you don't have a power outlet nearby the location where you're going to be installing your camera. I'll put the link for that in my blog as well. So let's have a look at the camera. Oh, wow, this is huge. So it's almost a foot, it's about 11 inches in height, and it's actually quite heavy. It feels really sturdy. Very nice metal bracket and an aluminum shell here on top. Let's have a close-up look at some of the features here. Through the back of the mount here we have the network cable and the power cable and the grounding wire. You notice that there are no wires for the alarm, speaker or mic. The camera has two-way communication and built-in software for motion detection. There's also no weatherproof RJ45 or DC coupler. Make sure that when you do plug this in that you wrap some electrical tape around it to keep it sealed from the elements. You'll also notice that this camera does not have a dome cover. It's rated as IP66 weatherproof, so that should be okay. However, I wouldn't try moving the lens around if we have an ice storm or a sleet storm because it may jam the motor. It's rated for -40 degrees Celsius and Fahrenheit, so I'm okay with that. Unlike other PTZ cameras I featured on this channel, this one does spin continuously. You don't need to worry about having to pan all the way around to the other side once you reach a stopping point. That's a huge plus for me. I like it a lot. There are also 6 IR LED lights for night vision. We'll test those out here in a little bit. And right here we have a light sensor, and that tells the camera to switch from daytime to nighttime. So let's get this camera plugged into a regular switch. You don't need to use a PoE switch in this case. You can also use a router. And we're also going to plug in the power supply. So this should allow me to get the basics up and running before I get this installed outside. So here on my PC I'll drop in the CD that came with the camera and open up the IP management tool. And you'll need to hit yes in order to run this file. Hit the search button to find the cameras on your network. In my case, it's only the one of this brand, and it's on a different subnet. I can update the IP address here to 192.168.0.94, and that will be in sequence with all of the other cameras on my network. And my gateway IP address is my router's IP address. I'm also going to update my ports, but you don't necessarily need to do this. When you do update your ports, you'll get a dialog indicating that the camera is going to restart automatically. Here in Internet Explorer, I'll navigate to that new IP address and port. The default username and password is admin and admin. In order to see the live view, or browse as they call it, you'll need to install the software to enable the feed. So click on download control and then run the software. Accept all default values when you're going through the wizard. Go ahead and refresh the page and allow the ActiveX control to run. And there you have it, the view from the camera. So my final software update step is to change the default password. So go to settings and manage users and then click on the edit icon and enter your current password and the new password twice. When you hit OK, you'll be forced to log in again using the new credentials. And just a quick comment on the web UI. It's very responsive and has a lot of features. I like it because it's very simple and it works. So let's take this outside and get it installed in a temporary location so we can have a look at the footage. So here I'm just going to attach the camera to the pillar with a couple of screws and then plug in the network and power cables. And this will be its home for the next little bit while we grab some test footage. Okay, so let's check out some footage. I'll go get in position. And we'll go from 1x zoom all the way up to the maximum of 18. And the image quality is fantastic. It takes a few seconds to focus there, but the image quality is great. You can see my breath. And as we zoom back out, it's a little blurry, but then it focuses right in afterwards. In that example, it was real time. The controls are very fast and very responsive. As soon as I click in any direction or zoom, the results are instant. So now that the sun is setting, let's turn the camera in that direction. I don't think it's a good idea to do this, but I'm going to try it out anyways to see if there's much glare. There are a few dots on the camera here, but I think that's to be expected. And as I zoom in, obviously those dots will get bigger. Overall, though, the camera is able to keep good focus with the sun in the picture, and I'm quite impressed with the image. So it's just about dark here now, so let's take a shot out towards the west where the sun just set. And actually you can see the Rocky Mountains very well. Nice picture. Here's the zoom test that we did a little bit earlier. Remember, it's complete darkness here. We have no street lights, and I'm about 150 feet away from the camera. So that's why the autofocus has to hunt a little bit to get me in focus. Let's pan all the way around here and check out the quality of these trees. So birds nest in these trees, and I can't wait for the spring to watch them day and night. The daytime image of this camera is great, but the night vision is fantastic. A camera of this size is not vandal resistant, so it's a good idea to pick a location where it's not easily seen or accessible. They can be mounted high on poles in parking lots, and they obviously work well in residential areas. There are a lot more features I'll be exploring with this camera, such as the two-way audio, installing the SD card, and remote setup. So please subscribe to my channel to be notified of these videos once they are released. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and also check out my blog for more product information there. The link is in the description below. Thanks for watching.